Hey guys, it's Audra. Welcome back to another video. So today I wanted to answer a question about how do you find your passion? I've gotten this question quite a lot. So I wanted to share with you guys today a couple of tips to help you figure out what your passion is. A lot of people go throughout their life and they never actually do the things that they really love to do. And that's basically what your passion is. Your passion is finding the thing or things, that can be more than one thing, that you love to do and that you literally just it just kind of makes you who you are in a sense. So I'm gonna share with you my top 5 ways to help you figure out what your passion actually is. So the first thing that I want you to do is get out a piece of paper and a pen, okay? I know I say this all the time, but I can assure you writing things down helps you more than anything. So the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, if I had the dream day or the dream job or the dream life that I knew when I went to sleep at night, like when I laid down at night, I was excited for what I was going to do the next day, or when I woke up the next day, I was excited for what I was about to go do that day, what would that be? I even was kind of restless because it was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so excited. Kind of that feeling that you get when it's like your birthday the next day, or you're going on vacation, or you're going traveling, or you're gonna meet someone the next day that you've never met. Those type of feelings. A lot of people out there are doing things that when they wake up in the morning, they dread going to work, or they dread going to study the subject at school, or they dread, what they're about to have to do that day. If you're doing things that you hate and you loathe doing, then that's a pretty good indication that you're not doing the things that you're actually passionate about. I know that a lot of people are in certain situations right now where they can't get out of it, like they're signed a contract, or they've done this or that, or there's always those type of circumstances. But my goal for this first tip is for you to just start kind of brainstorming and just saying to yourself, what could I do to where I would literally fall asleep and be excited about it the next day, and when I wake up, I'm ready to jump out of bed because this is something that I love to do. The second thing is, I want you to start thinking about, when you go into a bookstore, what are the sections, or what is the section that you always go to, okay? Is it the geography map section? Is it the design section? Is it the architecture section? Is it the fashion section? Is it the health and fitness? Is it the whatever? What is it that you actually like to read about? And not just in a bookstore, because most people will just go buy a fiction book or something, but what are you always reading on the internet, or researching, or listening to, those type of things. Now, again, I want to make a disclaimer about this. Like I said in one of my other videos about being passionate about health and fitness, a lot of people see that when they come from a past of eating disorders, they are they're just obsessed with health and fitness, and that's all they think about, that's all they do, that's all they read about, that's all they research. And if that is you, I would encourage you to go back before you did have an eating disorder and think about the things that you actually love to do before food and diet and exercise and fitness became your entire life. There's nothing wrong with food and diet and cooking and recipes and stuff like that, but you will see that when you go from having an eating disorder, you go through this time of just wanting food and wanting to be around food and wanting to be near food all the time. And once you start to kind of feed your body and recover and all of that, then that most of the time goes away, and then you can start getting back into the things that you are actually interested in. So I just want to throw that disclaimer out there, because I know a lot of people will say, oh, well, diet is my thing. And it's well, you didn't grow up being obsessed with diet. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you love to play the piano, or you love to paint, or something like that. Now it has morphed into diet because you went through a very strict period of dieting and fitness and all this kind of stuff, and that's kind of what has happened to your life. If that's you, go back to before and revisit those passions that you had before. Or you could also start trying to create new passions. So just kind of see what you're interested in. Go into a bookstore and start looking around, browsing around, and see what catches your eye. Stay away from the health and fitness section and go and look at the design section or the language section or something like that. Try to start a new hobby or a new passion. All you're wanting to do is just figure out, what are you all the time reading about? What are you all the time researching? What are you all the time Googling? Those type of things. That will help you get a really good idea. So the next thing is, what is it that you spend hours doing, and when you do it, you literally lose track of time, okay? this is the type of thing where when you just start doing it, time flies. And no, I'm not talking about like sitting there watching Netflix and you look up and it's been 8 hours and you're like, oh my God, I just wasted the whole day on Netflix. I'm not talking about that. When you do a certain activity that you literally just, time flies. Like for me, for example, I love putting together like gift baskets for people. I love writing letters. I love going and putting something together and sending it to somebody, like either that I know or anonymously, and just kind of like that whole creative process. And literally when I do that, I see that I can start at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and next thing I know, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm just like, what? Like, where did the time go? Because I'm so into it. I'm so passionate about that. I'm so just like, you know, I'm focused on that. On the flip side, if you are continually doing something that you're always looking at your watch, you're always just like counting down the minutes till you can take a break, you can get up and go do something else, then that's a good indication that you're not doing something that you love. So for example, my husband loves geography, he loves history, he loves going to historical sites and like reenactments and all that kind of stuff. And I hate that. Like, I have no desire for that at all. And when we go, he is literally just in awe of everything that's going on. For me, I sit there and I'm looking at my watch every like minute or so, just thinking, oh my gosh, when is this gonna be over? And that's okay, you know, like we're two different people. We have two different passions. His is going to be different than mine, and that's okay. That's a good indication that shows me if I am literally just dragging through something, it's not what I'm interested in. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably not the route that I need to go with my life if I'm literally just like, I hate history, I hate geography, I hate, you know, reenactments, and I hate all this kind of stuff. But for him, that's what he loves. And that's the beauty of this. Everyone's going to be different. So if you're trying to make your passion what someone else has, and you're just finding that it's just not working for you and you don't like it and you hate it and you're trying to just like dredge through it, like a lot of people do this when they go to college. They feel like they have to take these classes or they have to have this major or whatever because their best friend is doing it or their parents told them to do it, or, you know, they think that's going to be what makes them the most money or whatever, but they really hate it. You don't need to be doing that. You have to find something that you actually love and that you enjoy doing, and you can literally read about, study about, and, you know, take labs on that the time just flies by because it's so enjoyable for you. Now, number 4 is kind of similar to number 3, but this is when you're doing this certain thing that you lose track of the fact that you're hungry. Like, you don't even think about food. Now, this isn't in a sense of doing something so you don't eat and you can like cut calories. That's not what I'm talking about. Literally, this is on a psychological like level of saying hunger is a very, very important part of our life. Like, it's an important part of our physiology. So we have to eat to survive. We have to eat to live. It's a very instinctual type of thing that we all experience, right? But the thing is, hunger most of the time will trump other things that we're doing in our life, right? Especially like if we're doing something where like, okay, well, I need to go eat because I'm just hungry, or I need to, you know, that most of the time that will trump other things that we're doing during the day. But if you find something that you're really passionate about, sometimes that can almost say, I'm so into doing this activity that I'm not even like it's not that you're saying I don't want to eat. It's literally that you're saying I'm not even thinking of food. Like, food is not even on your radar. So this happens a lot with people who are doing like art or some type of like interior design or, you know, musical instruments or something like that. They really just get so lost in it. And the same thing used to happen to me. I used to be really into doing like creative books of art. I'd literally start in the morning time, and I was so into it. I loved it so much that I wasn't even thinking about food. And that's not to say don't go eat. I'm not saying that. I don't want anyone to hear that. But what I'm trying to make you understand is that right there gives you a very big clue into what you're passionate about, because it's trumping your hunger cues. And that means you are so into this that you're not even thinking about the number one thing that's going to lead to your survival, which is food. Now, obviously you want to eat, so pack some snacks, pack a lunch, whatever you need to do if you're really like someone who's into that big time. But that's just another thing to think about. What is something that you do that you're so into it that you forget to eat lunch, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't eat lunch, I gotta go eat right now. Okay, so the next thing is think about what other people compliment you on and what other people say that you're good at. So for example, maybe all of your friends are always like, dude, you know how to do makeup. I love when you do my makeup when I come over to your house. You always pick out the cutest clothes. I love going shopping with you because you're really good at putting stuff together. So maybe you need to get into cosmetology. Maybe you need to get into fashion. What do most people, including, your parents, your husband, your kids, your friends, strangers even, compliment you on and tell you, wow, you are really, really good at that. So at the end of the day, what it's going to boil down is two different things. All of those things beforehand were just ways to kind of get you brainstorming and writing stuff down and thinking out loud. Okay, this is what I can spend hours doing. This is what I like to research, that type of thing. But you have to find something that you're good at and you love doing, okay? Now, there is a big difference in these, and I just want to touch on this real quickly, because just because you might be good at something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to love to do it, right? So first of all, think about all the things that you're really good at. Is it the makeup? Is it the fashion? Is it art? Is it music? Is it writing? Is it photography? What are you really, really good at? And then ask yourself, but do I love doing that? But on the flip side, you also want to find something that you love to do, right? Like that's what it all stems from. And you want to most of the time be very good at it. Now here's the thing with this. A lot of people want to do something that they love to do, but they're not necessarily good at it, and that is okay. A lot of people will tell you, well, if you're not good at it, move on and go do something that you're good at. But the point of this is that you can't teach passion, okay? But you can teach skill. So if you have something that you love, maybe it's art, maybe it's design, maybe it's cosmetology, whatever it is, like you just love it, but no one ever compliments you on it, and people even say you should probably give that up, but you're just like, no, like I love this, I spend hours doing it, I don't even think about food when I'm doing it, I only want to read about this, I only want to Google this, like I love this, but I'm not good at it. That's okay. You can teach yourself how to get there, okay? And that is the beauty of this, is that once you find what you love, you can then build skill. But if you're doing something that you're good at, okay, but you don't necessarily love, it's very, very, very difficult to teach and kind of instill passion in you for something that you literally hate. The biggest two things is find something that you love to do, number one. You have to love it or you're not going to enjoy it. And number two, you want to be good at it, whether you're really good at it right now and you love to do it, or you learn those skills to where you can get really good at it. And then from that point, you can just take off. You can make it your career. You can make it just a hobby that you do on the side. And you can start trying to do this in other areas of your life to where it's not just one passion that you have, but it's many different things in your life that you're doing that you're really passionate about, and you just live a life of passion. So then it becomes, my job is my passion, I'm making money doing something that I love, and my hobbies and my free time I'm passionate about. I'm not doing stuff in my free time that I absolutely hate, and I'm not doing a job that I hate. My life is full of passion now because I love what I do and I'm really good at it. Those are my biggest tips for that. If you have any other tips or recommendations or advice that you'd like to leave people below on how you found your passion, please do that. I think that would be helpful. And again, as always, I hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.